Listen carefully, because something just happened in Congress that most gun owners still haven't processed.
Gun control legislation passed at the midnight hour last week by state lawmakers.
Gun violence with a series of new laws
this year for gun ownership and some evolving rules for concealed carry permit holders.
If you miss it, you'll be blindsided when the new pistol rules roll across all 50 states. In one fast-moving push, lawmakers triggered a shift that could rewrite how every American carries, travels, and defends themselves. These are real structural rules attached to H.R. 38 rules that could finally end the border traps, permit confusion, and accidental felonies that have ruined lives for decades. If you care about your rights, your safety, or your reputation as a responsible gun owner, you need to understand what these rules are, how they work, and why they matter. Let's break it down before the country hits the next turning point. Why Congress is suddenly rewriting pistol rules nationwide. For over 20 years, H.R. 38 sat as an idea, a debate, never a threat. Then, almost overnight, Congress moved it forward with speed that caught both sides off balance. This didn't come from one party, it came from pressure stacking up on all sides. Truckers arrested for crossing invisible borders. Parents becoming criminals 2 miles from home. Federal judges admitting the system burdens constitutional rights, yet claiming their hands are tied. 24 attorneys general, nearly half the country, told Congress the patchwork is broken. Add a Supreme Court leaning into Second Amendment protections, and the old framework simply couldn't hold. Congress didn't choose to rewrite pistol rules. Reality forced their hand. The political earthquake. How H.R. 38 became the center of the fight. The moment H.R. 38 hit the Capitol floor, the landscape shifted. When former President Trump publicly backed nationwide reciprocity, the conversation changed. Millions of gun owners who'd been navigating confusing reciprocity maps suddenly had a clear message from the top. This bill isn't a talking point, it's a priority. Then came the Judiciary Committee's 18-9 vote, real momentum. Behind it, 24 attorneys general unified in telling Congress the system is broken. That kind of pressure doesn't happen by accident. H.R. 38 isn't just a bill anymore, it's the center of a national showdown. The 10 new pistol rules reshaping carry rights in all 50 states. These rules are the engine of H.R. 38, each one crafted to close a loophole, erase a trap, or stop states from treating your rights like a gamble. Rule number 1 alone would have saved thousands from felony charges. Let's open the door. Rule 1. Your permit follows you in all 50 states. Under H.R. 38, your permit becomes a nationwide credential. No more scanning maps at gas stations. No more fear that a wrong turn makes you a felon. If your home state trusts you to carry, the rest of the country must respect it. One permit, one right. Rule 2. Constitutional carry states become automatic carry states everywhere. If you live in a constitutional carry state, your freedom doesn't end at the border. Your status travels with you. No more guessing whether another state respects your rights. If your state trusts you without paperwork, others must too. Rule 3. Police must respect your permit during traffic stops. One officer who doesn't recognize your permit can turn a traffic stop into a nightmare. H.R. 38 ends that. If your permit is valid at home, it's valid everywhere. No more roadside legal tests based on zip codes. Rule 4. The burden of proof shifts to the government. Under the old system, you had to prove you were legal. Now, if a prosecutor wants to challenge you, they must prove you weren't qualified, not suggest. Prove. This ends bad faith prosecutions and lazy assumptions. Rule 5. Wrongful arrest equals you can sue and they pay your fees. In the past, even if you were arrested incorrectly, you paid the price. Now, if law enforcement gets it wrong, they pay the legal bills. This shifts culture when wrongful arrests cost departments money. Respect for lawful carriers goes up. Rule 6. No more instant felonies for crossing borders. For decades, you could leave your driveway legal and become a felon by crossing a state line. H.R. 38 ends that. Your legal status travels with you. States can no longer weaponize invisible borders against responsible people. Rule 7. Private property rights still apply. H.R. 38 doesn't override property owners. Businesses and homes still set their own rules, but it stops states from twisting private property laws into backdoor gun bans. Clarity for carriers. Respect for owners. Balance restored. Rule 8. Federal gun-free zones still apply. Post offices, courthouses, federal buildings, unchanged. H.R. 38 doesn't override federal authority. It cleans up state-level chaos while reminding you federal law is still a separate layer. Carry smart. Rule 9. States must recognize each other's standards. This is the backbone. H.R. 38 ends the patchwork. Your state's training and background check is enough. No more memorizing maps. No more guessing. Your permit is nationwide, not a permission slip with a shrinking radius. Rule 10. Travelers gain historical protections from the 1887 precedent. H.R. 38 revives the 1887 New Mexico territorial law that protected travelers' right to carry. Self-defense isn't tied to geography. It follows the person. Once active, states can't treat travel as a moment where rights vanish. Real-world cases showing why these rules are needed. Shannon Allen, a Pennsylvania mom with a valid permit, became a felon for crossing into New Jersey. Her crime? A birthday party. Truckers like David McCoy and Jeffrey Johnson carried legally at home, but became targets the moment their route hit Minnesota. These aren't glitches, they're traps. These rules exist to stop turning law-abiding carriers into accidental criminals, the myths that fall apart under scrutiny. Critics claim states' rights, but no one says that about driver's licenses or marriages. They say some permits are too weak, yet permit holders have lower crime rates than most professionals. They warn of violence, but decades of data show no spike from responsible carriers. The danger isn't the law-abiding, it's the confusion, the traps, the patchwork. H.R. 38 exposes that gap, the historical evidence that crushes modern objections. In 1887, New Mexico protected travelers' right to carry. Permit systems didn't even exist until 1911, more than a century after the Second Amendment. When states claim tradition, history says the opposite. Under current legal tests, history sides with nationwide carry. Law enforcement concerns what's real and what's not. Some police groups claim out-of-state permits will confuse officers, but officers already run plates, licenses, and warrants in seconds. The real issue? Inconsistent formats. H.R. 38 creates a unified baseline not to override training, but to give clarity under pressure. Blue states preparing to resist. New York, California, New Jersey, and Massachusetts are quietly drafting legal challenges to block H.R. 38. Their argument? They don't want their strict standards forced to match freer states. Expect lawsuits, delays, and rushed local restrictions. They may stall the rollout, but they won't stop the shift. Why H.R. 38 is closer than ever. The 2025-2026 window. Republicans hold influence. Moderate Democrats won't fight this hill. The Supreme Court has repeatedly backed a strict reading of the Second Amendment. Political and judicial momentum are aligned. If H.R. 38 is going to cross the finish line, this is the window. What these rules mean for gun owners starting this year. These aren't far-off theories. They're already shaping how gun owners travel and prepare. If you have a permit, borders are no longer minefields. If you live in a constitutional carry state, nationwide recognition is closer than ever. This is the moment to update your understanding because the rules are shifting now. How manufacturers, sheriffs, and carriers are already preparing. Firearms companies are ramping production on carry pistols. Holster brands are expanding inventory. Sheriffs in Pro 2A states are updating guidance for out-of-state permits. Truckers and travelers are reviewing training and adjusting routes. The ripple effect isn't theoretical anymore.